So, excuse me, y'all. Do some invites while we. While I'm doing this, I'm gonna let this Dane Calloway be playing while I do my invites. Cause we need to hear this.
In fact, dealing with history in general, and on top of what happened with us as a people, the indigenous people of the Americas. Because the indigenous people of the Americas, the story doesn't start in 1492. That's number one. The American government starts in 1776. And it wasn't that long ago. If we look at that, our history stretches longer than both. What you're referring to in 1492 is a foreigner's arrival and them not knowing about this land. They landed here, foreigners land. Let's not even mention Christopher Columbus, just as foreigners, 1492.
Okay, so that was me listening to Dane Calloway earlier. After I couldn't figure out why I couldn't get my thoughts coherent on the last video and the sound cut out at the end. But it turns out I was hungry and I didn't know it. That's right, free Larry Hoover in this motherfucker. So the questions that I'm getting is why Larry Hoover? Out of everybody that's in the leadership in our community, why Larry Hoover? It's real simple. Larry Hoover is the chief of my clan. The clan of the Black Gangster Disciple Nation is also in alliance with other tribal nations on the land. This our shit. You just heard Dane Calloway talking about our condition, and when this shit started around 1492, and he said, fuck talking about Columbus. Columbus is the code. And Colombo is the key. Columbus was the investigator. And Colombo, the TV show, is the keys to what the fuck he was doing. So Columbus was the investigator, and he was taking instruction from a navigator. The navigator was the most powerful person on the ship. But they tell you that it was a captain of the ship. That's the person running the ship. Now, if you understand military, you know that in order to have a captain, the captain have to be subject to the person that granted him the title called captain. So the captain was subject to the navigator. The navigator name on Columbus's ship was Pietro del Negro, when they translate as Peter the Black. Now, remember, we need to get a message to Dane Calloway that he need to talk about the indigenous ancestry of King Hoover for the people. He is our national, which include all of the federations of tribes, grid. That's why he's so harsh when he be talking to them people, because they give him so much shit. And he right. Been right. Gonna be right. We was already here. We didn't come on ships. So we as a people have no centralized focus for our power, so we can harness it, and we can use it, and we can exercise our galactic right to call in our elders from the stars to come in and clean this motherfucker up. Now, earlier I was explaining on the receipts why they wasn't coming in like the movie Independence Day with Will Smith and just blast the White House. The government has capitulated, but the people haven't waken up. This is why you haven't seen worse than the storms and the earthquakes. Now, the The magic of our people is concealed in our dances. And right now, if you want to unleash the animals, you have to have the children do the dance called the Hokey Pokey and tell them that they're doing it to clean up Mother Earth. We want to clean the earth of anything that don't belong here. And when the kids do the dance called the Hokey Pokey, it is a conjure that's been taught to us for many years so we would know at this time how to use it. And this is why that Pied Piper reference is so fearful to him. Because the person that can put the puzzle together can tell you what your magic is, and then we can run these motherfuckers out of here without pulling a single bullet. You don't have to call to nobody if you don't want to. It's not about getting the government to do anything, because the government is already not here no more. Y'all just following the stage show that your enemy have in play, because they don't believe that we gonna ever come together under no circumstances behind no one motherfucker, especially after they dirty up his name, dirty up the name of his people, like they did Malik Angel Bay, like they did Big Tookie, like they did T. Rogers, and the list goes on. So let me explain a little bit again about how we got here. I don't want to do a long drawn out discourse on it because I got a 3-part series on that on my Facebook page for those who want to double back. Just put in how did we get here and then it'll pop up. Or you could put in one of them is how did we get here? Slavery never existed. Another one is exactly what is a satanic Jew. So I'm going to go over a little bit of what's going on so y'all can get it. The people that came over here darker than me, but they call themselves the white man because they're the attackers in the Conjure Wars. If you go back to your history of ancient Egypt, you'll find that that's the home of chess. Well, chess was created by somebody called Thoth, and it was brought to the 3D world based off a 5th dimensional game of the gods, where they play every board game you could think of is one of the games in the game of the gods. They gave it to us in board games so we can learn it, so somebody can come along and figure it out and tell us what the fuck it is. That's a post I did on my page. If you look up the word Plutarchy, go to on Facebook, then you go to post, and then you go refine post, and you type my name in under who. It's a Plutarchy post that pulls up this the game of life, just like Monopoly. But the Plutarchy is the global, it's actually the takeover of everything from the central sun, what we call our sun, to Pluto. That's why it's a plutocracy. Pluto is supposed to be the furthest planet from the sun. So everything from Pluto to the sun was at stake in this Conjure War, which drawed the Galactic Federation in. But the wager on the war was everything in that versus us. We would become a perpetual slave if they win the war. They lost. They put us, the Conjure War is predicated up on what they call the schizophrenic mind of a god. In other words, I got one in there called a god with dementia, and it's talking about regaining the mind. So you automatically know where everything go when you're born. They have to scramble your worldview so that you don't know where none of it go no more. And none of them could figure it out. Well, nobody would never give me the okay over all of the lifetimes that we've been going through this shit for the last, what we were considering linear time, 2,000 years. They wouldn't let me play in the game. They wouldn't let me take the shot at the title. They didn't want me doing it because I'm going to make every motherfucker from the king to the peasant and everybody in the middle bump straight. You're going to either do right by people or you're not going to be here. So Mama said you can't throw people away like trash. Which brings me to the message I got from Big Mama earlier. Big Mama had the priestess tell me that she want Rizza Islam front and center, telling them about the matriarch and telling them that we finna put her back in power. And some brother named Amun Ra. Now, she didn't tell me if he was a Nubian 5%er Egyptologist or what school he was under, because I know a whole lot of guys named Amun Ra. But Amun Ra has to step forward. Well, he might be who is secretly behind the scenes, because Amun mean the unknown and Ra mean God, that central sun God. So I'm trying to get y'all to understand that this not about just picking the leader to get behind. The only reason why Larry Hoover is the one is because he's the chairman of the board of the Black Gangster Disciple Nation, of which I am under. So because I won a game and because I beat them in the Conjure War as a witch doctor, and because I was able to put all of the pieces together and checkmate their ass, now we at the part of the game where all we have to do as a people is focus our energy on getting one leader free. Now, the side effect of that is this. That one leader doesn't want to negotiate unless certain conditions are met, which has entailed the other leaders that's being oppressed and suppressed, villainized, demonized, and hanged in effigy in front of the people, disgraced with a Masonic disgrace rituals, murdered because they was cheating. Everybody that got a chance to get ready to take the motherfucking test, they murdered them. Many brothers that you don't ever hear of was about to take this bitch over and they murdered them in the physical. And that's one of the rules of the game. That rule of the game say that you cannot take the test if you're not physically present to wear the crown. Now, so it's not about Larry Hoover per se. He's not bigger than the Disciple Nation. But we are tribes that they told you was gangs. And gang is a Masonic code word. G is the seventh letter made, and Ang is the avatar. When you put them together, you have a gang. This gang is ran by somebody they call Grodd the Gorilla, or GD Rod the Gorilla, which is a play on your comics. So they took all of our shit. They put it in the movies. They put it in the cartoons. They put it in the music. They put it in the board games. They put it in the titles of the cereal. The logos on the box. Tricks are for kids, silly rabbit. Hokey pokey is hocus pocus. That mean they running the motherfucking game on us. I'm trying to get us as the people, fuck what they talking about. Fuck Joe Biden. That shit is a puppet show. No politician has ever had power. Ever. Ever. It's not even about that now. We passed that. We at the part now where either y'all want to sink or swim. And I'm trying to show you and teach you how to swim. You swim in this scenario by standing with your brothers and your sisters. Like somebody is kicking your front door in and mama and daddy is out of town and we all teenagers and there's only 2 motherfuckers out there, but it's 10 of us in the house. We get together, just like mama said, one of y'all hide behind the door when the motherfucker come in. One of y'all get behind the couch. One of y'all go in the closet with a shotgun at. 2 of y'all go in the kitchen where the knives at. And when the motherfuckers come through that door, the motherfucker jump from behind the door and bust one in the head. The other motherfucker jump behind the couch and you tackle one of them motherfuckers. By the end, the 2 in the kitchen then ran out with the knives and now hit the motherfucker with the shotgun in the closet to hold them motherfuckers at bay until we figure out how we gonna finish this motherfucker. Right? So this is where we at in the game. We pass all the part of which leader we already know. That's been solved for you already. So we passed that. We passed the part where what do we do? All we have to do, use our platform, the whole nation, every nation, come together as one united nation and overthrow these motherfucking rotten son of a bitches that don't belong here. They told you they didn't belong here. They told you you wasn't going to never come together because they was going to use divide and conquer to keep you from ever figuring this shit out. And then when the Conjure War was going on, they fucking was cheating, which perpetuated this shit longer and longer. Took it from one landmass of the planet to another landmass of a planet. This is why Elijah said the uniting of Africa and Asia, or the uniting of East and West, Africa and Asia. This is what he's talking about. This war is not new. The Great Wall of China was built because when the motherfuckers first came, they couldn't assimilate into the 3D reality on Earth unless they got killed first. They didn't even take this physical form. So in China with the Great Wall was to stop them motherfuckers and kill them. But we didn't know at that time when you kill them, they be born back as a human in appearance through a woman. Because it's the gateway to this portal. And if you die here, you got to come back fucking here. The laws of the universe are not the same as the laws of Earth. What you think is a law is really a contract and a code. So now, for all of the newcomers that don't understand how this government is fake, I'm going to explain to you how they're fake and they're imposters and they don't belong here. Their law, you can Google this if you think I'm making this shit up. It's that easy to find the information I'm about to give you. A simple Google search will turn up what I'm saying. Okay, now, the first one is all law is commercial. If you Google that, it's going to show you that all law is commercial and it's going to tell you the code, the legal code that it is. Now, most of us don't know what that means because we don't know what they call legalese. So I'm going to tell you what it means. A commercial activity is dealing in commerce, which means a business deal. So all of their law is a business deal. Now, let me show you where your deception is. The law is based on principles of something called levies and liens. Levy is the play on word. Levi is the tribe of Levi of the Jacobins, the supplanters, Yaakov's grafted devil, whatever the fuck you want to call them, satanic Jews, whatever the fuck you want to call them. But they operate on a system of levy and liens, right? And the levy that is predicated upon their rulership of what we call the written word of law, right? So this is the difference between what they do and what we do. They have to write shit down because they can't be trusted. So they have to keep a record. So during the Conjure War, according to the laws of Mott, we was the defenders. So that means they took everything we had, stripped us to nothing. When they stripped us to nothing, anything we get, the kings, we got to get it from the dirt using any means necessary, but we can't share the wealth with the other kings. It was the rules to the game. But we can't tell anybody that we can't share the wealth between each other. So when you see Sabi saying, I went to all of them for financial backing, he's putting in the public domain that he can't get financial support from the leadership that's draining the people, but they all know who the fuck he is and what he's doing and what his work is about, and they send people to him. The same motherfuckers won't give him a dime. Now, the reason that part is to teach you how to get it from the dirt, how to live off the fat of the land. No matter what the environment, our people will adapt to live off the fat of the land. As we do this, they became use control of the media, right? Because you got to remember, they came in with what we call aggressor position in chess. So the chess players can help some of y'all understand what I'm saying for the non-chess players. But what it is when you put pressure on a certain piece, it causes the pressure to make that piece vulnerable to being removed from the chessboard. So the fact that if they share wealth, they exposing, they telling on each other. They ratting each other out as to who the kings is if they share the wealth between them. Right? That's the safety net that keeps us moving progressively forward while we not even conscious and cognizant of the events that's unfolding. We don't know what these motherfuckers is doing to us, but we do know it doesn't feel right. And being that we trust our Shakti more than our intellect, because our Shakti is our intuitive God mind, right brain, mother mind, what they call the Ain't Soph or Ain't Sophia. Sophia mean wisdom, and wisdom is Thoth, and Thoth loves Isis, and Isis is the queen of heaven and earth, creator of wisdom, and they say wisdom is justified of her children. So I try to tie it together so it's make much sense and as simple as possible so y'all can see what they did to scramble our brain. So the external focus that they got us with their projective thinking instead of using yourself as the first frame of reference for anything you experience in this world. You can see from your God lenses. You have to use yourself as the first frame of, like, for instance, you can't jump in the air if you don't got a foundation under your feet. It's called frame of reference and point of view, right? So when you hear me say flip, I say that a lot. That means there's a piece of information I just got spiritually that's making me change the direction and perspective in which I'm looking at a situation, circumstance, or condition. I say flip to those who know because they know that I'm finna switch the whole subject matter in a matter of a second to a whole nother frame of thought, idea, and mind state. BOS, bro. And from there, I will be able to then see something from first person perspective at all times. This is what you call seeing with your God eye. God only see from his perspective. He don't give a fuck about nobody's perspective if he's God. But there's a side effect with that. In order to do that, he also remembered that everybody else's perspective is also within the God being. So if everybody else got a perspective, it's also his perspective too. He has to now what you call marry the two together. And this is what this is. The peace sign in our language. Going from the divisive vices of the enemy, we go love and truth together produces peace. The 5 principles, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. The first 2 together produces the third, right? So when you see this, what we call third world, BD, Sassoon, Dasun, right? These mudras, we've been doing the conjuring, practicing in their face like we ain't got no goddamn sense, but it was well orchestrated and laser precise in getting the message from one chief to the next, no matter what they because a lot of what we think is black on black violence is the invaders are infiltrating our camps, killing our brothers and turning them against each other, and will not let them bump straight. We didn't do that. We fight. We solve it with the fist. That's what we call the So the sister wanted to come in. I'm gonna see if I can get her in here. What happened? Hold on, let me see if I can get her in. Oh, she wasn't trying to get in. Okay, so the uh the the notification said somebody was yeah. So I want y'all to go back over this one from the beginning when it end, because this is critical information in the understanding of what we're dealing with. My job is to tell y'all who everybody is in our community that you need to know. And right now, my focus is on Dane Calloway because he's the he is the grid for his job is to go in do the research. He's what you would call a national archivist, which is like he was a researcher, and he's digging up all of the paper trail to show you that this shit is a fraud. I was going over all laws commercial, and anything commercial is a business deal. All right, so he went over all of the business deals that they call treaties. So when I say all laws commercial, now that you know that it's a business deal, when you listen to Dane Calloway talking about a treaty, that's a business deal. All right. Now, their law also said that the United States is a corporation. You can look it up, Google it, and it's not hard to find. It's on my page 1,000 times that it's a corporation. Their laws say they're a corporation by a Supreme Court rule, so they have to make it public domain, but they don't got to tell us where it's at. We got to find it. So now we find out that the United States is a corporation, but what does that mean for the people? So this is what it means. When the Constitution of the Iroquois Confederation was hijacked, we was all put into what you call a interim government for imbeciles, because all of the chieftains was considered incapacitated. Then they had an overseer. Now I wouldn't say an overseer. You had what you call okay, I'm gonna give you the lodge. If I can remember, the lodge name is the warden. The warden's job in the lodge is to oversee the affairs and administration of lodge duties. So the warden of the land is the one who's holding the keys to one particular lodge. In particular, it's called the Washington Monument Museum in Washington, D.C. It's a Masonic memorial to George Washington. In there, there's a keystone, which is at the top of the arch. The only person who can say break the keystone to get the key out of there is the one who can match the both pillars. He can arc them. This is why they call it an archangel, but it's really the archangel of the light of the one that shines from the top, looking down on the rest. It's not a position of superiority of person. It's a position of superiority of position on the chessboard. And this most superior position is what they call the God seat of heaven on earth, galactic seat 50, governor of everything from El Sol, or Amun Ra, I-10 Ra, I should say, and to Pluto, from the solar disk in the middle to the outer limit of Pluto. That is the reigning dominion of the God seat of Earth. Earth being the planet that is the fourth from the sun, third from the sun, my bad. It's the third planet from the sun, and it has a feminine polarity. And that don't even register with a lot of us because we're so used to these masculine ways that's foreign to us. And that was the whole thing to ruin the children, is to make it where the fathers can't father and the mothers can't mother the children properly. It causes what you call a contagion of aberration. That term and how it works can be found in L. Ron Hubbard's book called Dianetics, where he talks about how you can transfer genetic memory, well, not genetic, family customs. You can translate a family insanity from one generation to the next until somebody come along and stop that shit. Right. That's why I don't charge a goddamn dime for what I'm doing. I don't want no money. I've been sitting, look, they made me quit work. I retired from work. Right. I'm not allowed to work. I'm not allowed to solicit. This is the rules for being in this position. I'm not allowed to solicit. I can ask certain siblings, family members that's close to me for favor until I get finished. But I can't ask for shit because all of these motherfuckers with this offering basket and Cash App happy, these motherfuckers is the problem with understanding that you can't oppress the people and get them to put money in for God to perform a service when you're not performing the service that God is saying perform. So I'm not here by my own, like I just woke up one day and said, I'm finna free the people. I'm a bad man. I didn't do that. I had a whole process of awakening, developing, and refining by me just following what I naturally liked it to do because I didn't give a fuck what nobody thought. I'm just gonna do me. I'm gonna stay in my lane. I'm not gonna cause nobody else lane no disturbances. And if they get in my lane, I'm gonna knock their ass back in theirs, whether it's from a left bump of malice or a right bump of over righteousness. It's the same. A over righteous motherfucker is the one that paves the road to hell. Let me explain this to you. The over righteous, too good, goody two shoe motherfucker is the one that's paving the road, the golden yellow brick road to motherfucking eyes, straight to hell for us with their good intentions and their bad thinking. Good intentions, they heart mean well, but they too fucking dumb to think they way out of a goddamn open box. But they telling us from a place of sincerity and truth, and we follow the sincerity and truth without never using the intellect to match that shit up. Now we fucked up with them. Now we all fucked up together. Blind leading the blind. And what did they say about the blind leading the blind? So now you look about people trying to escape the wrath of God. You is a fucking idiot if you think you're gonna escape. You can move anywhere on this bitch. There's no exit. These sisters will tell you, you don't have to believe me because you have a Tesla coil receiver in every sister that's listening. She know I'm telling the fucking truth. And she know, nigga, you need to listen to this nigga. He telling you something that's going to save all us, not just him. I already did the work required to save myself. And this is why Noble Drew Ali said, if I can get you to think, you can save yourself. And if our each one teach one, that we all might reach some philosophy. Gratitude changes everything. Pay it forward. I collected the pre-karma so that I can have a greater motherfucking reward on the other side of the flip. I took the most pain and the most struggle and the most suffering because I felt I could handle it better than everybody else. Not that I'm better, but the shit that didn't nobody want to do, it didn't bother me. It was nothing personal. So even the family that's functioning well needs somebody to wash the toilet or that motherfucker gonna stink. Even the family that function well needs somebody to take out the trash. It can't stay in the house. So when nobody else want to do the dirty work, who are you gonna call? Right? Who do we call as a people collectively, knowing that this our shit, knowing somebody here, and knowing there's a remedy in their law for this, which takes me to the third part of the false acumen of the law. The entire law is predicated upon being a commercial enterprise, a corporation, and the next thing that your law say is that the government derives its authority from the people. Corporations don't derive their authority from people. Corporations derive their authority by legal recognition as a corporation. So when you understand that the corporation is what's been behind this shit, and the corporation is not the real government. Now, the enemy have to give us a warning in 3 knocks before they attempt to move for power for the final seat. On their attack, they went to move for power and they got blocked. But they gave us what we call a 3-5 knock. What that mean? It's a massive event. The last one got to be the biggest. The first one happened in 1991. The basement of the World Trade Center was blew up by a car bomb. And they said some motherfuckers flew from over in motherfucking Iraq, and a blind sheep that can't see told them what to do. Damn, some dumbass shit. But anyway, they blew it up. 5 years later, or 4 years later, in 1995, you had something called a federal building explosion in Oklahoma City, right? Now put a pin in these 3 events. It's what you call back forth. So if you ever had what you call click clack, click clack, click clack, click, that game that we used to play when we was kids with our sister toy, sometimes we get them out of here, we'd be like, click clack, click clack, click clack. This is what this is. So the first one was in New York, the second one was in Oklahoma City, the third one was in New York in 2001, 9/11, which brought us to 9/11 of this year, which was when the planes and the ships start coming in and they're trying to get the people's attention so that they don't scare motherfuckers literally to drop dead where they stand. You have to give them permission to breach the upper atmosphere of the sky. They are waiting for a collective understanding of the people that this shit is fucking over. And now they just need us to come to the general consensus that one leader speaks for us, and he carries every demand of our children from now into the next 1,000 years. And it's all written in DNA code. So he don't even have to know who he is. He don't even have to know why he does what he does. When the time comes, our ancestors has instilled in us by genetic design a blueprint for awakening. I read the blueprint and I followed it step for step. But I read the blueprint in real time as it was being written for me. As I developed according to the conditions being wrong. And I didn't feel right. So that let me know in and of itself that something wrong is bigger than what I'm seeing. And now I have to figure it out because there's nobody that knows the answer that I keep asking. Why do we live like we live? Right? Why are we living piled up like rats with all that fucking land out there in our country? We piled up like fucking parasites in a ball. That's cancer. The humans in the metropolises form what you call an earth tumor, a mass. So this is why the church is always doing mass. The congregation of the church is to instill the cancer into the society because the Catholic Church was the ones holding the keys to the kingdom. Under the Pope papal bulls that put us into the servitude when he took control in 1301 of your soul and everything that comes with it, because he said you was an imbecile, you can't think for yourself. So he had to step in and intervene on your behalf to govern your estate. He won't give you none of it, but he can live off of it because he's the caretaker. He the motherfucker you left in charge, the Pope seat. But it was supposed to have been a woman there. They murdered her, right? So once they murdered her, that fractured the priestesses of the earth, and that's what fucked everything up. They cheated in the game. They didn't play by the rules. And by them not playing by the rules, it made the shit so intensely miserable that when people like us come here, we fall into states of apathy, driven to suicide, and we know something not right. We just don't know what the fuck it is. We know it ain't right, but we don't know what it is. But now when we step back and you look at it from a God's eye view, the God's eye view say, well, the first problem we need to stop, and this could go a long way for helping us, is stop these motherfuckers from fucking babies. That's the first thing we should stop. That just makes sense. Because if you want a future, the children is the blueprint. They the passport. We come back in reincarnation cycles because we are, even though we eternal, we didn't want one long, continuous, drawn out memory of existence. We wanted to break that shit up, look at it as a different person at different periods in time. So we all chose to be here, whether we believe it, don't believe it, accept it or not. You can't be here in a free will universe that we in if you don't choose to come. It's just some of us chose to come to solve the problem that y'all got trapped in. And some of us chose to come before the problem ever existed. But everybody here chose this shit. It just so happened that something happened to prevent you from breaking free. So Larry Blueprint is follow universal love. Fuck what the man say, what you feel in your heart. Right? So they want the ships to move how they want them to move. When they here. I'm telling you, these motherfuckers here, and I don't talk about aliens. Because niggas got enough earth problems, we don't need to worry about the shit in the sky. But now I'm to the point where I can't not talk about it no more. I can no longer sweep these motherfuckers under the rug because they're flying over our fucking heads now. I can't no longer be conscious and aware that they exist, but know that your focus is in the wrong area. And even if you even start looking up, you have to look within. If you're not looking within first, looking with up is gonna do you no good. You're wasting your time. Because what you see up there is not gonna be what you see. You're gonna see what you think this society wants you to see. You're not gonna see the truth. And the truth is consistent. It doesn't change. It don't care who you is. It'll bust you in your shit the same as it'll bust her in hers. It doesn't care. The truth only resonates with true hearts. The ones who hate the truth is the ones who saying, fuck Larry Hoover, we don't want to fuck that nigga is this, that. Every one of us and did our dirt. And them niggas, half of the niggas that's saying fuck Larry Hoover, the ones fucking the babies. Because they know when that nigga come home, baby fucking is over. Adrenochrome is over. They know when that nigga come home, he brings some goons to clean up these motherfucking streets, and now they can't manipulate your child any longer. They don't want that shit. They want to continue and continue and continue to oppress and subjugate and oppress and subjugate and blood suck, energy drain, vampirize your ass. Now, I hope y'all understand what I'm saying because I'm trying to make it as simple. Because Elijah said, make it plain enough for the baby to understand. And Farrakhan said I was going too fast, giving it to y'all too hard, and y'all wasn't receiving the message clear enough for y'all to get that this shit over. Produce the king because this shit over. That's it. Now, I keep getting the same question about if the nation is lying about the right thing, why did Farrakhan the only one ain't dead? Well, why would we want him dead? If he doing something productive in the community and he got the protection of God Almighty on his side and you want him dead because if he ain't dead, he's not really trying to be a leader? Come on, what part of the fuckery is in your brain? Right? What part of fuckery is that? Let me tell you, now make this clear in this video, and anybody want to know about Farrakhan and why we even dealing with him, I'm going to explain it to you. Farrakhan is called an untouchable. They can't fuck with Farrakhan. He can go in there and go motherfucker them motherfuckers to death. They can't kill him. They're not allowed. Why? He's married to the grand matriarch of this land called the United Snakes of America. Where these devils at, he's married to the grand matriarch. He ain't no special motherfucker in and of himself. He's married to the grand matriarch of the land. He is her mouthpiece. They can't kill him for that reason, and that reason alone. Right? They tried to do it before, and that's why Malcolm ran a red herring to draw the heat off of Elijah Muhammad so they could see who the imposters was, because they already knew how these... Claire Muhammad knew Wallace was going to fold up and bitch up. She knew already. So what was the contingency? Malcolm. Malcolm was the only motherfucker besides Wallace that the enemy believed would be the successor to Elijah. And he was such an influence, they wanted Elijah to get rid of him. We already knew that shit. Malcolm understood clearly what I'm saying right now. If anybody think that he didn't know what the fuck he was doing when he pulled the security off the door into Audubon Ballroom, he knew he was finna sacrifice himself to save a bigger cause. And nobody goes after the king and queen seat of the land, the high priest seat and the high priestess seat of the land. The high chief seat. It's 3 chiefs running this motherfucking land. That's how I know they can't kill Tukey. It's 3 chiefs running this land. On the West Coast is Tukey, and for the rest of the land is between 2 people because of the size of the land. And they always gonna figure out a way to beat the devils at every fucking turn. And those 2 people was Larry Hoover and Chief Malik Angel Bay. Chief Malik Angel Bay is in there for trying to free your ass from the bondage of your enemy. He knew who they was, and he was going at their ass. That's why you don't see him on the streets. Has nothing to do with gangbanging. Has nothing to do with drug dealing. I'm going to show you why it don't have nothing to do with drug dealing. This is why it has nothing to do with drug dealing. Oliver North, George Herbert Walker Bush, and Ronald Wilson Reagan was caught red fucking handed. Pay attention now. Red-handed trading guns for drugs, backdoor deals of a massive proportion. Now, let me tell you what they did. You can go pull the history books to see what I'm talking about. Freeway Ricky Ross on the West Coast, we knew him as one of the prime drug dealers of the 80s. Big, everybody from every neighborhood know who he is. Freeway Ricky Ross case exposed the greatest cover-up that was going on at that time, which what they called Iran-Contra, and the sister called it right on the nose. The Iran-Contra affair has live Senate hearings that you can still access right now to determine if I'm telling you the fucking truth or if I'm making this shit up. Right? This is what I'm telling you. The highest 3 officials, well, not 3, 2 highest officials and one of the chiefs of staff got caught red fucking handed with the candy cookie jar. They was taking the drugs from Nicaragua and Colombia with the Sandinistas, bringing it over here to the United States, selling it to our people for the intention of destroying our communities. Using their proceeds, the greens, the money, they went over to the Pentagon and they bought what you call American surplus military weaponry. They bought it all. And then they were selling it for profit to Iran, who they made the agreement with during something called the Iran hostage crisis that got Jimmy Carter kicked out of office and replaced by Ronald Wilson Reagan. Now, Reagan was our guy, but we don't know it. We too stupid to know that Reagan was our guy and that Bush was the enemy that was trying to kill Reagan ass because he knew Reagan was our guy. Reagan gave me what you call the monkey knock, right? The monkey knock comes with a key. And he gave the monkey knock to me in a private phone call between him and Richard Milhouse Nixon when he was the governor of California. And he told Richard Nixon, who was then president, that these motherfuckers act like monkeys. Now, he never identified who he was talking about, but he knew that I would get that. Anytime they mention a monkey, my ear do this. It just automatically say monkey, monkey. Because when they say that, I know that our people are being observed or watched from a different place in the heart, because it was used as a derogatory term. But when we used it as a totem title, it was a term of endearment. So if it doesn't come accompanied with the affection that Big Mama used to call her grandbabies porch monkeys, and it comes from the vile spew of the enemy, or the perceived enemy, not the enemy in truth, but the enemy on the cover, right? If he spit that word out, that's a code word for me to pay attention to something. So he was telling me to watch Richard Milhouse Nixon in that telephone call by pretending to be racist and associating with Nixon, who was then up to something that they called the Watergate. It was a brother that blew Watergate, which a lot of y'all don't know, who was indigenous to the land. And they told him to stay the fuck out that room, but he kept going in that room because the door kept being open. And he ended up causing the biggest scandal at that time that this government had ever been exposed to, when he revealed the Watergate scandal. Now, the Watergate scandal have what you call the knockback. Now, this tell me in the Democratic Party, the identifier has to either have water in the title or gate in the title, right? Either water in the title or gate in the title. There's got to be two knockbacks. One has to do with water and one has to do with a gate. So I'm going to show them to you in real time. The Clintons got indicted on something called the Whitewater investigation of the Clintons. Okay, that's 50% of the knockback for Watergate. The other half is what you call the Bill Gates Initiative. The Bill Gates Initiative was presented in 2005, what they call in private a God killer vaccine virus. It's a combination in two parts. It's a vaccine first, and then it's a virus. But nobody's going to ever have the virus because the CIA stopped them from making it. But they allowed the process to continue as if they was allowing it to be done. And then they turned around, made the motherfuckers that they was hired to make it tell on them. And video footage, telephone, they got every fucking, when Herbert Walker left, he told them, these motherfuckers know everything. And Donald Trump gave all of them the card that George Bush said. They asked him, what is your last thing you want your people to know before we chop your motherfucking head off? And he said, I want them to know one thing. And he told them in his last will and testament is, they know everything. Everything they did had to be documented as part of the rules to the Conjure War, but it had to be documented in code for their side's rules. They made their own rules up. We followed the rules of the Conjure, and that was always be right and tell the truth. Let's keep you in a superior position to right, and you tell the truth. They give you the sword of truth. That gives you the ability to cut down any enemy at any time if you stand in the position to right and tell the truth. Right? So now, from here, after the Iran-Contra, after the Whitewater, after the Watergate, Bill Gates initiative launched something that they call a COVID-19 response, which is a MI5 CIA KGB collaboration code. All any secret agent know what it means, but he's not gonna tell you because you don't know. That means you ain't supposed to know. I'm gonna tell you because I feel like you're supposed to know because the laws say that the government shouldn't keep secrets from the people. Right? So I'm telling y'all what they doing because I learned the language of the all of the Secret Service language that they used, the KGB, the CIA, the Mossad, the MI6, MI1, all of these motherfuckers. I learned all of their codes and put that shit together. Now I'm telling y'all that the Galactic Council's been able to be called. We was able to get on the phone and say, hey, we need some support down here because these devils is too motherfucking roguish and we don't want them here no more. I had to get in the position to do that. And they said, is you the leader? I said, no, I'm just under him. And they said, well, we don't want to talk to you any further. We have to talk to the leader. He is the one that has to call us in. He is the one that has to say, yeah, get these motherfuckers off this planet. They don't belong here. So all the time while they was in the street gang banging, he pulled me off the street and told me start brain banging. Educate your mind to confront the enemy before us because we can't see him. We don't know who he is because he looked just like us. And they call him the white man. So when you talk about pulling the curtain down and seeing who Oz is some niggas called themselves Etruscan Moors. And they come over here to usurp us by trying to make us believe in that Amaru and Moray is the same. We not the same. Amaru and Moray are not the same. Amaru, Inca, is where we are. We not in America. They altered the name just enough to confuse you. Just like when they wanted Biden and when they wanted to put Obama in office, it was real easy. All the time that George Bush and Donald Rumsfeld was chasing Osama bin Laden, they was preloading y'all that the motherfucker that y'all was going to vote for next by homonym induction, hypnosis, repetition. I'm going to show you how it works. The hunt for 8 years of the Bush administration was for Osama bin Laden, right? If you remember when President Obama originally ran, he didn't run as Barack Obama. He ran as Obama. And his running mate was Joe Biden. So Osama bin Laden sound exactly like Obama, Joe Biden. So now you just got tricked. I already knew he was going to win as soon as I heard the ticket. As soon as he said Joe Biden is running partner, I said, these stupid motherfuckers going to put this nigga in office and he ain't going to do shit for us. He couldn't do nothing for us if he wanted to anyway, because he would have been violating the rules of the game. We got to get it from the dirt. We got to get the money from the dirt, the knowledge from the dirt, and the girls from the dirt, meaning the queens. The smear campaign pushed us all in the dirt. So to the dirt they put us in, and from the dirt we rising right now. This is what the whole Larry Hoover initiative is. Has nothing to do with Larry being my best friend. I ain't never met the man a day in my life. He's the chief of my tribe, but I've never personally met him one time and never seen him in person. Only seen pictures of him. Hell, he could pop up and not look like none of the pictures. I wouldn't know. But I know one thing. He is the chairman of the board of the Gangster Disciple Nation, the GDN. I'm the motherfucker that broke the conjure. I called for help. They told me they want my leader. I'm telling y'all what they want in order to help us. Now, at this point, the shift comes in. You have to be clear enough to knowing who you are to know what your people are capable of and what you can call to your defense in order to even accept what the fuck I'm saying. So, Larry Hoover is the chief of my nation. Whether you like him or don't like him, agree or don't agree, it don't even matter. All we trying to do is consolidate power across all nations on the land. Everybody else already done this, and they only place left is to produce Hoover. China say produce Hoover. Japan say produce Hoover. The Philippines say produce Hoover. We the only motherfuckers that's left. Those over here in Amur Inca, the only motherfuckers that left to say produce Hoover. I could have picked Angel Bay, but he's not my chief. He's the one that bought off on me though. He put me to the test to see how I'm gonna stand up under the pressure. He did do that, but Larry, my chief, I have to give them my chief. They don't want to talk anymore. They telling me what they want and giving me updates, but they don't want to talk to me anymore now. Now they saying, you who fixed this, who broke this conjure, go get your chief. So when they've been showing you all this time making fun of y'all, they already knew niggas can't come together on one thing ever. We ain't never did it in the since them motherfuckers been using the method of divide and conquer. We ain't never came together on one thing. This is the easiest way I can make it for us all to come together and centralize the power. One leader out front. It ain't me. It's Larry. Larry is the board member, the chairman of the board of the Black Gangster Disciple Nation. I'm a gangster disciple, and the gangster disciple fixed the problem as a witch doctor. They won't want to talk to me anymore until they talk to Larry. So every time I go to them, they say, where's Larry Hoover? So then when I tell y'all the message, you got the smart asses on here that their intelligence is so high that they be like, he a gangbanger. Really? You don't even know what the fuck going on. Then go sit your ass down somewhere. You got the other ones that come in. I thought you said that they was going to come in and swoop down, tear shit up. I said, if they don't comply with the orders, stupid motherfucker. If they don't comply with the order to produce Larry, they was going to blow some monuments up to show you motherfuckers to come together. But the government already agreed. They shot the blue beam in the air. The blue beam shot in the air in D.C. 2 days ago said, okay, we will produce Larry if you can get these people to ask for us to produce him. And y'all not going to never make that happen. These niggas ain't going to never come together like that. So we going to sit back and we have a deadline to produce Larry. I don't know what it is because only the sisters can get dates. I can't get dates in time. I can read them, translate them, but only the women know that it's written in the law. No man know the day nor the hour, but the sisters can find out. The sisters can get the deadlines and tell us. And then when they give me the sign, they're going to tell it to me in the code. I'm going to tell y'all the deadline for whatever the event, thing, or circumstance is. I don't know times. That's not my lane. That's the sisters control the time frame of events. I don't. I read the events in real time as they unfold them to me. But premonition, foresight was taken to me because people made mockery of me as a child. So that gift was taken away because it was used to inflict pain upon me. The same as my ability to give people the lottery number was taken away from me from people lying to a baby, telling the baby, if you give me the number, I'm going to go buy you some ice cream. And these motherfuckers come back with a new car, new clothes, new shoes, and baby still didn't get his ice cream. You can't do that to these kids and kill their innocence like that. That kills the magic of who we are. That's why we can't use the magic. Lying to the babies, misleading the babies, feeding them bullshit. All of this shit is an orchestrated design. It's not an accident. It's on purpose. All of this shit is an orchestrated motherfucking design on purpose. It's not an accident. Your misery and suffering is not an accident. Your loss of leadership is not an accident. This shit is well orchestrated and well planned. They just can't outplan and outplot me. I'm not because I'm smarter than them. That ain't even the reason. I'm just more determined to defend my family than any of them motherfuckers. That's all. I'm more determined to defend the innocent and the weak. I'm more determined to defend the children and the sisters than they are. Because my determination is so high, I'm going to work 10 times harder than them. So if I got to go in the gym to fight next week and the motherfucker I fight can beat Mike Tyson, that means my training is going to exceed anything Mike Tyson ever did in training. Why? Not because I'm better than Mike Tyson or can outfight Mike Tyson. No, that's not the reason. I'm not going to let no motherfucker win with my family at stake. You're just not going to win. I'm always finding a way to come out on top when my tribes are in danger. Y'all in danger. Been in danger and been the victims long enough. It's up to us now. Where's our brain matter? You know, if we don't get our brain matter under control and our heart space under control, they're going to continuously do this shit. When our time up, if we haven't produced Hoover, this is when everybody look like some fucking idiots when they drive the fuck off and go about their business and say, oh, they didn't really want free. They was just playing. They didn't really want free. They were just playing. It sounded good for the moment. It's the same as jacking off. It felt good, but it ain't going to make no baby. Feel good, produce nothing. This is what you do at church every Sunday. You go do some feel good shit. I'm not into that. I don't want to jack off. I want some pussy. I don't want to jack off. I want to fuck. Right? So if that's how I feel, I'm not going to settle for something less than what's the best. Why would I do that? That don't even make sense. So, the reason this bitch ain't really towed up by the ships. Now, we on the earth moving the weather. The Crips went to crib walk and set these thunderstorms off. Now these sisters is starting to do this, what they call sway of the matriarchs, where they start calling on Mother Earth while they dance and shaking their ass, and she's going to respond like she did in Detroit yesterday. Detroit don't get earthquakes. It was earthquake in Detroit yesterday. 313. That's a direct hit on the 7. That's me. Answering off the sway of the matriarch. They send me a direct message in the earthquake. Mother Earth sent me a direct message. Boom, son, I hear you. It's just down. Do y'all hear me? Do y'all hear me? Right? That's not the question is not, am I telling the truth? The question is, are you perceptive enough to determine the character and the level and the quality of the information you get is like nothing you've done before. T.D. Jakes don't talk like this. Freddie Price don't talk like this. Creflo Dollar don't talk like this. None of them imams, sheikhs, grand sheikhs, mystics from the east, sages, they done brought to y'all and gave y'all over here talk like this. You know why? Because they don't know how to do two things at the same time. Stand in the position of right, tell the truth. Most of them stuck on one. I'm stuck on two. Position of right, tell the truth. I'm mama's right-hand man. I listen to everything my mama said. I listen to everything my daddy said. I would reiterate to them after many years went by before they passed shit they said when I was 4 years old. Pop, you remember when you told me da 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 da? What? Boy, you remember that shit? Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, so this is where we at. I'm trying to see if there's anything that I need to be addressing. Yes, Larry has a wife and children. Been married a long time. Any of y'all can reach out to Lil Larry. You know, he ain't no bougie ass nigga. He real down to earth kid. Well, he ain't no kid no more, but we've been saying that so long in the nation, calling him Larry's kid. But he a grown ass fucking man. That's a on some free my daddy shit type shit. But to us, he's still just a prince, the boy prince. But he's a grown ass man. But on our affection, he's still just a prince, just a little prince running around waiting to be king. He's still the baby, the prince. In our perception, especially those that don't see him on a regular basis, he always little Larry, the prince, to us. And so, yeah, that Kanye know that now is the time. That's why he told Trump publicly. That was a primer for the public domain to see this shit finna be on a national level. Kanye was what you call the horse that carried the message to the top. He was the messenger. Basically, when he went to tell Trump to free Hoover, he wasn't talking to Trump. He was talking to the motherfuckers that was hiding behind that motherfucking Oval Office in the other room, listening to him talk to Trump. Them the motherfuckers he was talking to. Them lodge members that hold the key to the motherfucking capstone, right? Because you get the key from the keystone to open the capstone. And in the capstone is something called the time capsule. And in the time capsule is where they keep the contract and the resolution. And the resolution is a flag. And the flag is the flag of the Bays, right? So if y'all don't know what that is, the Bays are the chiefs that wear the feathers. The L's are the ones who wear the fez, right? The fez wearers came over here with something called conquistadors, challenged the feather wearers to a conjure war, right? And they cheated. You're not supposed to kill the chiefs that's going for the crown seat, for the high seat. You're not supposed to kill him in the 3D because he can't hold the seat if he's not in the 3D world. And this is why Garvey was so frustrated, because they was using our conjure on us, and then they was using what you call low vibrational means to keep their motherfucking position by not allowing anybody to take the test. So if you go and if you study Tupac, if you are familiar with a guy named Tanique Reviews, he was doing a Nipsey thing. He said every time a motherfucker get ready to cross the checkerboard, they kill him. I seen the kill order on Nipsey Hussle that his mama told me about. She flipped it to me in a sign. I read the sign she said, and I seen the order to kill Nipsey Hussle by the one we call him the King of the Rats. He's a Moor of them in the Moor Science Temple, but that's not originally where they from. The Moor Science Temple was not started by the invaders. It was started by Noble Drew Ali, the Cherokee High Chief, because he had to go into something called the Moorish Zionist Temple in order to know what was being done to us. And while he was doing the research on the Motherline Red Lodge, we had a guy that had already done the same work. It was two of them actually on the Fatherline Blue Lodge named Prince Hall and Absalom Jones. Their names are code, right? So when you study their names, you could be able to understand that what the code was telling you, because it's either telling you the definition that the name means, or the names is spelling something out by their order being scrambled. Almost like an anagram of words. It's like you take a sentence and you put an out of context word there. This is how it works. When we see it, the chiefs see it, it's called reading it from the wind talk. And then we can use what we call incidents of life, that shit that happened in the normal course of events. We can read it as oracle readers in order to determine what's going on. So now we at the part where we informing the people. That's the main thing we're doing. That's all. As they become informed, all they got to do is flip a free Larry on whatever platform. If they don't have a platform, then they don't have to do nothing. We want the internet when they go to do say what's trending. Only thing that's trending is Larry Hoover. Ain't nothing else trending. That's it. Just let free Larry Hoover is the only thing trending. Well, after a certain number of people become aware of the struggle and what we doing in the movement, that number of people triggered something called the 100 monkey effect, or in physics it's called critical mass, right? So when the women be putting up these dancing videos and they saying free Hoover, it's showing the people that's been killing us in the physical world, we ain't a threat to you. We don't have to fight you. But while I'm dancing and telling you to produce my leader, I'm turning to loose my energy, giving it to Mother Nature to hit your bitch ass with a bolt of lightning. Right? That's how you do it. That's why the real reason not to use violence is not so you can get beat in the head marching. No, because you want the elements to fight for you, because you're going to show these motherfuckers your power. You want the animals to fight for you. You want the weather to fight for you. You want the earth itself to fight for you. You want to see the electrical storms. You want to hear the motherfucking rumble in the distance of the thunder. You want to know that when you look to that motherfucking sky and call for help, it wasn't on the deaf ear. The same shit they told you that you're not capable of doing because you're not who you are. This is the same shit you're going to use to bust that ass. When y'all get this, in our neighborhood, people that's from the indigenous tribes, all we need to be talking about is how to get the word out. We don't got to do nothing but get the word out. Word of mouth, right? The best form of advertising. These videos is just giving you a manner and the explanation of why it is we doing it this way so you can understand clearly what's being done. Now, for those that's still waiting on the people to break the ship, you not doing your fucking part. The ships ain't coming in until you done your part. I'm talking about the bitch ass niggas that will come with the heckling later. They probably not in here right now because they probably don't even know I'm live because mama probably kept them blocked to keep me on task. So they'll be doing some shit and then they'll come back when I be off. As soon as I get done, they'll watch the video and then they'll be heckling me the whole time. But fuck them niggas. I don't care about that. The nigga that might be hitting me in the head with a brick, I don't care about that nigga. I want the motherfucker in front of us. Right now, we got the devil in the crosshairs. Right? We got the motherfuckers up there with the power to motherfucking unleash on his ass. All we got to do is pull the trigger on his ass by general consensus of a majority rule scenario. It's the same as voting for a president, but now we at the part where you just campaigning, and if enough people campaign, we don't even got to vote no more. If enough people campaign, then we don't have to vote. They're going to go get him. When the people, because it's about awakening, it's about becoming aware of what's really taking place in this world around you and not what the enemy told you to look at, right? So it's some beautiful people that came to support this mission that I thought I was all by my fucking self. I didn't think nobody was going to back this shit because these niggas is some spineless fucking jellyfish. They ain't got no testicles. Their testosterone is extremely low to the point of it's barely there. Their estrogen is excessively high as in they about to overdose on that shit. And I'll be like, I did never think that this many good people would say, you right, brother. I hear you. You right. Enough is a fucking enough. Well, this is where we at with it. And so I had to get on here because my video earlier went mute when I was only supposed to do the update. But I didn't know I was only doing the update because I hadn't eaten and I was hungry, but I thought that I was having something else going on. I hadn't even realized I hadn't eaten because I did that 4-hour video yesterday, video interview, audio interview yesterday and answered a whole lot of questions and took a whole lot of heat. And the self-control, because I'm a hothead, self-control to me is the same as somebody that doesn't normally running a marathon. Now, I'm not used to that shit. So it's hard for me, but it's okay. I don't have a problem for my people of doing the hard shit. Reading the extra book or two a week on top of the regular workload. Going to work. I use my GM job as a university the same as I use the penitentiary as a university. By the time I got done getting as much out of the library, I've read 3 whole libraries at 3 different prisons, plus law books, plus ordering books through interlibrary loan, just to be prepared for now. Then when I got out, I got a job working for GM, good, pretty decent job, so they told me. But then I found out them dirty, rotten motherfuckers was stealing the money and mistreating the people, and it drove me insane to the point where I was forced to retire. I was forced to retire because of how bad they mistreat the workers all over this motherfucker. I can't stand there and watch it. And when I try to tell the people, this is all you have to do and you free, and they don't do it. I gave the auto worker the blueprint to renegotiate their contract on terms that they can have the upper hand, and they dropped the ball in the worker rebellion. We passed that now. Can't worry about that. The worker didn't go get they just due. Now I have to get us to now get our. Y'all can do it, but you don't have to. Y'all can be free, but you don't have to be. You can be a comfortable slave if you choose to be. That's your option, but I don't want to be your slave or your side. I don't want to be the nigga that's the slave next to you talking about, how's we going to get master to get us some free? Nigga, you had a chance to get free, and you dropped the ball. The ball now, everybody to hear this, you got the ball. And all you got to do is use your platform. Call these celebrities and tell them to use their platform. Everywhere they look, they need to be seeing motherfuckers under their shit. Not DMX. Motherfuckers like Puffy, Jay-Z, Beyonce, these motherfucking billionaires, entertainers. You either gonna ride with the people or you're gonna be in poverty. You will not be allowed to have any wealth on this bitch when this shit over if you ain't supporting the people. If you support the people, you can keep all your shit and you can go get some more and be done with it. It's just about the unity of the people is all it's about. All of the leadership is united. We just got to get the message out that we have a leader prepared to meet the Galactic Council. The Galactic Council have arrived, they here, but they can't breach the skies without a general consensus and calling from the people that's on the ground. It's our shit. We belong here. Somebody that don't belong here got to go. We can't get rid of them until the people decide they get behind a leader that all the other leaders is behind, which was my leader. They might not even like Larry. Some of them might want to punch the nigga in the face. Some of them might want to stab him. But they said, fuck that shit. The enemy told us we should feel that way. We don't really feel that way about the man. We don't know him. The enemy said I should hate him. The enemy is telling us how we should deal with our leadership. When the people want a leader that'll fight for them, all they got to do is fight for the leader that's fighting. That's it. You find the leader that's fighting for the cause that's going to give you freedom, support that. The niggas that's just talking that shit, trying to fill a cash app up in their bank account, don't support that. Put them motherfuckers at task to do the same shit that the only motherfucker that's telling y'all the right thing to do is saying. Don't let them, they tell you about a cash, fuck your cash app, nigga. This nigga ain't asking for a goddamn dime, right? He ain't asking for shit. My big brother and my little sister single-handed financed 3 university degrees for me. 3 of them motherfuckers. In books alone, I wrote my own curriculum because I'm my own self-made master of masters. Hiram Abiff is what they call me in the lodge, the man that's capable enough to draw enough mental acumen to bear on one subject at a time to master it sufficiently to match a master in the field. In multiple fields, I needed a minimum of 7. I had to be a master of 7, but I mastered 10. And the 10 I mastered is the same things they was using to oppress us: economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. When you understand what methods of oppression is being used, then you understand what you have to do to get free. All you have to do to get free. Hey, Christina. Y'all see Christina Vargas 8330? She the fucking truth. Get some of the morals from her. She a powerful motherfucker. And that's one of the ones on our team that's been working with me for the longest on this shit here. We was over on Facebook putting in work to we done made Facebook now got us where people can't even hardly get on our pages to get information because Facebook is redirecting the traffic to our pages to other motherfuckers. You know. So they asked me about Larry history and him being crowned king, and I'm referred as a reference to Don Dirk is the law writer in the current speaking grid for the Blue Lodge Black Gangster Disciple Nation. He got a video with Vlad on Vlad TV where he's telling you about the crowning of King David, for those who want to know. He also talks about other topics too that I've also been asked about, and he is the person that I'm responsible to direct you to at this time, and if he make any mistakes, Larry's going to correct them later. But Don Dirk right now is the person that when y'all ask me how about the crowning of Hoover and all, I'm supposed to send you the dirt. He is the one whose job that is, not mine. Right? So go back to the beginning for those who came closer to the end of this video, because this is a very important piece of information. Dr. York, who was one of the guys who picked me too, and Dr. York also agreed and picked Larry Hoover. Dr. York is an elder, a star elder. He's not an earth elder. He's a star seed. He's not from here. Dr. York might not even choose to stay here with these rotten motherfuckers after they was too dumb to see that there's no possible way you can give all of the molested kids the same strain of genetically identifiable herpes and you don't got it before, during, nor after the crime. Our people that dumb. When you read the paperwork and you see what's being presented, they accused him of molesting kids. Then they turned around and said, not only is he molesting these kids, he gave them all this herpes, and it's the same strain of herpes that all of these kids got. But every year, Malachi get an STD check from his doctor. It's on record, been on record since the 70s. Every year. Now, the only year that he didn't get a medical exam from his doctor, an STD scan, was when he was locked up, which they done one when he was locked up, right? So while he was locked up, he never came back positive for herpes. But that's a critical piece of the evidence that what they call it in law, it's called critical key evidence is called shit, I can't even think of it right now. Because I wasn't intending to go on a Dr. York thing because we right now trying to focus on Larry. Dr. York walked the yard with Larry and he spoke to Larry personally and supported him, he gave me the message through Larry that he's backing Larry. Right? So Dr. Malachi backing Larry. For all the New Wabians that want to know, Dr. Malachi Z. York is pushing Larry to the forefront, just like I am, because they took the Galactic Starseed family told him the same thing they told me. We done talking to you. We want the leader. This motherfucker over here. So they're not talking to me. They ain't talking to motherfucking Dr. York right now. They only want to see Larry. That's all they give a fuck about. Everything else we doing right now is only to get the people to focus their attention on one leader. Farrakhan's aware of it. Trump's aware of it. The entire motherfucking Joint Chiefs of Staff is aware of this. They the ones who operate the blue beam. The Joint Chiefs of Staff have to give a united motherfucking agreement to flick the blue beam, which say, yes, Blue Lodge won. Blue Lodge won. Shoot the pillar. The blue beam is the blue pillar. Now, when they get ready, when they give enough people, the red beam is following. The red beam follows because you need two. You need a witness. And that's Chief Malik Angel Bay is the witness that Larry Hoover decided he wanted at his left hand. Stan Tookie Williams is the leader that he decided for the people on the West Coast that he wanted on his right hand. Right? I didn't pick them for him. They picked me the same way he did as to be the most capable of figuring the solution out. I've been picked by Vice Lords, by Stones, by Bloods, by Crips, by Latin Kings, Latin Count, Maniac Disciples, Satin Disciples, Black Souls, 5% Nation. All of them motherfuckers picked me to take the test because I was the last motherfucker left. There was nobody else left that would try to face these motherfuckers, and I don't quit, and I don't back down, and I don't lose. Yes, it's a literal blue beam. You can go back. It's on YouTube. For those who don't think I know what I'm talking about or might not be sure or might not understand, whatever the situation, if you want to see the blue beam, all you got to do is put blue beam out of the Pentagon, 9/11 or 9/10, one of them days, I think it was 9/11, and they're going to show it. When they shoot the blue beam up in the sky, it's going to be big ass, like a big ass pole of blue light. It's literally a blue beam. And the blue beam can only be set off by a unanimous agreement by the entire Joint Chiefs of Staff, and they all agreed to produce Larry to free the people of the land from the contract that was the corporation known as the United States. Right? The mothership is fucking huge. That motherfucker is huge. It's so huge that it's intimidating to me to see it in the spiritual vision. It's the energy is that great, and it's that motherfucking awestruck. It's like I can't even explain it to y'all where it even makes sense. But when I look and they back there, just the fact that I know they there, this shit energy is so fucking potent. This shit just like make chills go through your whole body. Make motherfuckers like, what the fuck? That shit is fucking huge. And it's got the juice. Like the juice. You can feel that shit if you spiritually in tune, and it's over fucking whelming. None of y'all don't want this shit that I had to go through to get us to this point. Y'all don't want to go through this shit. Trust me, if you can avoid it, you don't want to go through it. Nobody shouldn't have to at this point, but this was some hard shit to accept. The hardest thing for motherfucker to accept always gonna be the truth. The earth, the blue beam was their agreement to release Larry Hoover. It's conditional on the people. Has nothing to do with them anymore. It's us. It's the indigenous people of the land holding first right to the earth right with the right birthright that they waiting on to say, break the sky, clean it up. You know, break the sky. I called them. Now they need me to produce a leader. I got to produce a leader. My leader is Larry Hoover. He's my tribal chairman of the board of the Black Gangster Disciple Nations. And even if we don't like Larry, we ain't going against that shit. Nobody in blue, anywhere on the land, is going against that. We got the Red Lodge is 100% behind Chief Malik Angel Bay. Nobody in the Red Lodge is disputing that man, and that's Larry Left Hand Man. That's all it is to it. It's not like I'm like I don't really understand why it's hard for people to grasp that this shit can't go on like this forever. These motherfuckers can't continue to rape our babies and drink their blood and use them for sex toys and use them for poker chips and poker games and all this shit. We feeding babies to the beasts and never feel remorse. So we have to, sisters, dance. Tell Mother Earth you dancing for her to get rid of the enemy and just dance. That's all I can tell y'all. Dance. Brothers, wherever you see one of them sisters trying to help, back her play. This they shit, not ours. They was here before us. They gonna be here when we gone if they choose to let us leave. Or they can choose to let us stay, meaning men, male genders. They don't need us to make babies, as they told you, and that's some bullshit. Yep, Nip's still alive. I'm gonna scroll up a little bit and see if I got anybody got a question. I've seen a couple and answered them in the process as they popped up. Yeah, Nip, Easy E, them Tukey boys, they eternal now. Um, as Mo Preem would say, them niggas on the legendary path. They doing some legendary shit, right? Nips is he's visiting his extended family in Eritrea. He don't have to be over there because they can't fuck with him on Pac's territory. So Lil Rara is currently in Eritrea visiting his extended family, receiving his honors. As we going through this part to produce Larry, in Eritrea, they are giving him whatever his title is over there. That I don't even study the culture like that because that's that nigga job, not mine. But I know about him, and I know that's where he at, and I know he went on his father's side of the family that he's over there visiting with, and they are the ones that's giving him the juice. Tukey's in Area 51. They sedated him and put him in stasis in a cryo chamber that allows him to be alive but incapacitated until they can pull him forward the same way as they was able to do out of the tombs of Babylon when they pulled out the kings from there, right? So this is already recorded that they done this. As a matter of fact, Barack Obama is a clone of Akhenaten. He's a DNA splice off the genetics of Akhenaten. And it's just he's the direct DNA. When he gets to a certain age, they can make him embody all of who that character of Akhenaten was. And our people gonna respond because Akhenaten was one of our greatest pharaohs to ever do this shit. And so the people gonna respond to him in the positive way, and that's why they chose his DNA. His story is told in parts in the movies as they make mockery of you and your culture in your face and you don't know. Get these old movies and understand that they're talking about Barack Obama the whole time. The movies were not released in order, but I'm going to give them to you in the order you should view them to understand the totality of who he is and why they cloned him. Now, Akhenaten's totem is what we call the jackal, and the jackal is under the lodge of Anubis. Remember that because I got to go back to that. The first movie is called The Demon Seed, where a woman is raped by a computer. And this movie came out in the 70s, and the computer impregnated her, and she had a baby they called a demon seed. Okay, that's Barack Obama, part one. Barack Obama, part two. Now that he's about to be born, they said he's Rosemary's Baby. Rosemary's Baby is another old movie from the 70s. Now, the layout or blueprint of the life they was going to teach him is in Damien, the Omen 1, 2, and 3, tells you the life story of how they would be grooming Obama to be the Christ, but they used the pale skin. Because you would never figure it out. If they used a nigga, you'd have went crazy. But Barack Obama's story is Rosemary's Baby. Now remember, he didn't even grow up with his dad. He only grew up with his mother. Remember, in Damien, his father was a senator that got killed. It's actually his mother and father got killed. In Damien, he was an orphan. But when they tell you the story in Damien, they tell you he was the son of a jackal. In Rosemary's Baby, at the end, they say she gave birth to the son of a jackal. Right? And So when you put these together, you understand that this Barack Obama shit been some man's fuckery shit from the whole beginning, right? So, yep, his mom was CIA, and his grandfather was CIA, and he had underworld ties. His grandfather did. Yes, Barack Obama was the Antichrist that they spoke of in the book. Um, I'm the one they call the destroyer because if this shit don't get right, I normally tear shit up, but I don't look like I'm gonna have to do that this time because they responding. Yeah, God don't need no fucking presidents at all, let alone a black one. That served no purpose but to distract you worse. Um, well, the Bible is the code. Everything that I went over in this video is basically I could use the Bible to go through every piece of information in here down to the names and birth dates of people, using the Bible alone with no other book as an oracle. The Bible is a written oracle that came out of Egypt, and only those who understand how to read our original tones and frequency languages will we ever figure out that how the Bible needs to be decoded and reformatted. They use it as the tool against us by turning it upside down and backwards and scrambling it like an egg. And it tells you the story, and you think one part belongs here and one part, and you think it's linear. It's not linear. It's out of order. It's piecemeal. The 144,000 is a homonym and a code. The 100 or the one in the beginning is 144 thou sinned. In other words, 44 mean angel. That's Angel Bay. That's Chief Malik Angel Bay off the Red Lodge on the father line, the mother line, and he is the keeper of the Red Lodge mother line. Right now, watch how this works. The 144,000 flips a one, and the 44 is Angel Bay. So Angel Bay is sending one. Thou sin mean I sin you I sin. So you the one that the angel sent to do the job is what the 144,000 says. Now, it also has other significance because it's the 12 zodiac. It's the 120 in each house of the 12 zodiacal houses. Now, the 120 is the lessons for the 5% nation, right? So when you take the 120, 5% nation, the 120 keys that they got, it's called the 120. You take the 110 20, you break it down, and you apply it in each one of the houses of the zodiac, of 12 houses of the zodiac. And when you do that, you are unlocking what they call the key to the angel gate. And it's actually not external, it's internal. It's a DNA frequency lock that is setting free. And it was hard to figure out how to get the message to us. Yeah, so when you see 44 standalone, meaning angel, when you see 444, the angel is standing on the square, meaning it's standing in the center of a circle on the square. Yes, the 144,000 is the frequency. So the angel frequency of the earth is 440 hertz. So the 440 hertz is 10 masters, 10 angels, 10 toes down, meaning they are 10 angels standing on the upright. Yes. The four going all four ways, all four seasons. Yep, that's right. You good. Wow, I didn't ever do any research on what if the blue beam, how many lights it consists of. I didn't even give a fuck. I just knew when I seen that motherfucker. Now all I got to do is get the people to ask to free Larry Hoover. No, 430 T is not the angel frequency. It's what you call the earth tone frequency. The earth tone frequency is the natural harmonic frequency that the earth vibrate on its own. The angel frequency is the female Tesla coil women high priestesses generate 444 hertz, and the difference between the pull of the earth 8 hertz from 432 to 440, it pulls a 50% ratio from the 444 hertz of each of the sisters. So Earth takes from the 444 hertz, it takes 4 hertz, which is 4 hers, which is 4 sisters, which is a 4-corner shuffle. Now this is our language. I'm flipping it in real time so y'all hearing it. This 4-corner shuffle is 4 sisters standing 10 toes down, which makes the 440. The 440 is a West Coast turnaround. On a trucker lingo, they always say it's a 440 West Coast turnaround off of Jim Croce 50th anniversary edition song album, have a lot of keys in it for the one that's the 50th seat. And yesterday I got left bump off Larry by number 49, who was bumping Big 50. Bumping Big 50 ain't gonna get you nothing but broke, because Big 50 don't fold, bend, or break. All I do is move forward. And that's how it goes. So when he came, he thought he was gonna Pepe Le Pew spray me from the pew, but it didn't work. Cause I took that motherfucking shit, I accepted it for value, wrapped that shit up in the motherfucking skunk ball, polished the ball up real good, rolled that motherfucker right back to his ass, all in the name of love, truth, peace, and justice. And I don't want to deal with that bullshit. Because right now, I don't care about what happened before. We can't undo anything in the history. But what we can do is heal these children for the future. So we can look to the future, learn from the history, and apply the solution of the two today. It's a math problem. Right now is the 0 point on the acidity scale. It's 7 on both sides. Put that shit together, and that 707 flips a third eye off 2 masters looking at each other face to face in the ethers. This is our language, how we wrap shit up. It's called rapping and tapping for a reason. Because once motherfucker get to rapping, you make another motherfucker somewhere else get to tapping. They tapping their feet, you know. So when the sisters tell you stomp your feet, pat your cheeks, but this black you show can't beat that shit. Right? So it's real simple, but the complexity is making the simple seem more complex, right, than it really is. But they want you to think that it's harder than it is, so you won't try it. What I had to do was I had to do enough work for 100 motherfuckers. Mental work, not physical. And it's so I had to develop the brain capacity to do that. I wasn't born that way. If you go pull my school record, you're gonna find out I was in special ed, and they told my mama I never learned, and that I had something was wrong with my brain from the seizures. I taught myself because my mama said, I don't give a fuck what they said. You're gonna grow up and you're gonna be somebody, and you're gonna do something that they ain't never expect you to be able to do. And they've been telling us the whole time we wasn't going to amount to shit, and the ones that believe it end up going the wrong way. Well, I didn't believe it, but I didn't give a fuck. It's just as bad. But since I didn't give a fuck, I was just sitting there watching. Because they thought I was overlooking it, but I was just looking it over. Right? So when I was looking it over, I ain't have to look over my shoulder because I already knew what it was, and I took that shit for face value. That was a face-to-face straight up. I'm not bullshitting about my people. It's my people that's bullshitting about themselves. The ones that hear me know what the fuck I'm talking about. They can feel it in their soul. They all with this motherfucking shit. They just don't know how to tell these stupid motherfuckers what to do because these stupid motherfuckers in the way. And that's why it's written in their motherfucking book. And my children will surely suffer for a lack of knowledge. Because what these motherfuckers don't know, they presume to know. And the presumption of knowledge is worse than the motherfucking knowledge of death. Firsthand. Because the presumption of knowledge is motherfucking fuel to the foolhardy. And when the foolhardy is gassed up, that motherfucker make foolish motherfucking decisions for everybody else. And that's why you don't let the blind lead the blind. And that's why they got niggas talking about we don't need no leaders. Them the same niggas that kill your leaders to keep you oppressed so you'll never break free from this bullshit. You need leadership, Because half you niggas don't know how to live your own fucking life. You ain't never been taught leadership. 101 basics. We need to go back to basics and start from the beginning. Go back to elementary. And elementary is supposed to start at 12 and go down to 1, which is actually up. We the only motherfuckers that's not perceiving that when you win in a motherfucking race, 3, 2, 1, backwards count, third place, second place, first place, bronze, silver, and gold. We the only ones not noticing this is what they call an upper triad. They put it in your face and they teasing it with your own shit. We don't count 1 to 100. We never did. That's counting in the negative to us. You counting your way down into something. Where they trying to go? So my man, you say you the Apollyon, ain't that the one that got cast into the bottomless pit? For those who watching and understand mysticism, the occult, Reiki, acupuncture, chiropractic, will know what I'm about to tell you is the facts. The bottomless pit the religions speak of is called your root chakra. Your root chakra. Look that shit up, discover it, find out why they call it the bottomless pit, and then you'll know why they call me Apollyon. I'm the motherfucking iconoclast. I will destroy all of their idols in their face because that shit don't mean nothing to me when it come to my people. Fuck their Bible. Fuck their Pope. Fuck their Queen Elizabeth. Fuck their Prince Andrew. Fuck their Washington, D.C. Fuck their MI6. Fuck their CIA. Fuck them all when it come to my people. I mean, we watched Martin die and didn't do shit but tear our own shit up. We watched motherfuckers look like us kill Malcolm and still didn't know that the enemy the whole time been niggas that look like us. So we scream Larry Hoover as the battle cry, the call to arms of all of the tribes. I got responses back, and I did some posts this morning on my Facebook. That's my receipts from the last few days. They came in hard and fast. But a shaman out the Southwest sent me the motherfucker where they blowing the horn. That's called the final trumpet blow. That means that the last tribe signed on when that dude, if you was on my page, you would know what I'm talking about, but y'all don't, a lot of y'all not familiar with my Facebook like that. But he blow the trumpet when the last tribe, that's why they call it the last trumpet, because it's the last tribe signs on to the Larry Hoover. The last tribal chief or priest that signs on has to blow the trumpet. And that trumpet is what lets me know that all of the tribes are on from a leadership perspective. Now we got to do what we call a mass alignment of focus to the consolidation of power into a single individual that has marching orders to get the dirt off this bitch. And the dirt is the enemy that look like us, but they ain't. Yep. Somebody could dip over to Facebook. You could actually put the in the comments. You could copy the link and put it in here for my Facebook page. For those who don't know. Excuse me, y'all. So I'm late today, but I'm right on time with time. But for me, I'm late because I had to first figure out that I was hungry, so I could understand why I was mentally cloudy. And then I had to understand why I'm mentally cloudy, what kind of mentally cloudy it is, because that allowed me to determine what food source. So I was carb deficient from high firing of brain cells. And then you get a headache, and then you get real sleepy. Then you feel like you worked out all day, then you drop. And you out like a sack of potatoes. Uh, the CIA the CIA closed. While you talking, the CIA closed down. There is no CIA left right now. The only remnant of government that's really intact is the military. The Pentagon and what they call CENTCOM, Central Command, is in control of this government right now, right? And CENTCOM is the ones that is sending the blue beam up. They already know. They closed the CIA already. That's a wrap. They closed. Vatican is closed. You can look this shit up. The Windsor castles are closed. Um, the United Nations is closed. Call somebody in New York, for the people that don't believe me that live in New York, and say send somebody to the United Nations building and see if they open. It's not even any flags out there anymore. You know, that's a wrap, right? The United Nations closed. The majority of the shit you're seeing on TV is supposed to be in DC is in Castle Rock Studios in California. I done already proved it on my website with the actual photographic evidence. So I don't have to go over all of this shit. I'll see y'all come in. I'm late getting y'all this information, but this information to me is documented and accounted for by the same motherfuckers we trying to oust. They keeping the track of this. So I have to do everything in the public domain, and it's at that point their responsibility to follow the instruction that I gave them by public decree or public notice is what it's called. So we used to go to the Times Square and post up on the we used to go to the Times Square, post up on the community board what was taking place. Well, now we got Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Lookout, and a couple others. Social media is what it's called. So we take our social media platforms and we just start making the message. No matter what we're doing throughout the course of the day, there's one core message that goes with our day, and that's Free Larry Hoover, because it's synonymous with saying we want the people of Earth free. And the Galactic Council wants me to produce my personal leader, the chairman of the board, the Gangster Disciple Nation, Larry Hoover. When you go over the information, you can look up any other science I'm giving you, and it's going to be laser beam shot, the law, medicine, it don't matter. I know what the fuck I'm talking about because I studied this shit. I needed to figure out what was going on and what we had to do. Now I'm telling y'all because I need y'all to get the word out that the indigenous people is reclaiming the land, and we closed the old government, and the whole fucking chicanery of the Biden shit is because the people can't even see the condition that they in sufficiently enough to know competently and consciously they are actually slaves. They don't even know. So this is why they fictitious character known as Harriet Tubman say, shit, if more motherfucker, I could have freed more if they knew they were slaves. You know? Yeah. Not once. They continuously fall for the same exact trick with different clothes on. It's the same trick. The face don't change, but the clothes change. Meaning they use the same shit on different motherfuckers using different motherfuckers, but the actions is the same. You can see them early on when you know the pattern. So we say Free Larry Hoover because our people want our freedom, and tribes of the land, they got us classified as gangs. And gangs is the code word for 7 AIM. Right? We went over that earlier in the video, so I ain't gonna go too deep into it. So this was me to give y'all an update. I got the receipts for the earthquakes. I got the receipts for the thunderstorm. I got the receipt from the baby ships. Only thing I have is produced. Oh, I got the receipt for the Blue Beam. I got the request from Big Mama to produce or to tell Rizza Islam to step out and speak up, and somebody named Amun Ra. But there's so many niggas named that I don't know which one she talking about. So, from there, I think I got every topic covered. So, September 14. Okay, so 36-9. It's a 369 turnaround flip on the Chi-Town Heat off of Hurricane Larry brings in the water while the Crooked Man walk in the storm, while the earth shake on the sway of the matriarch to get us to all get on one agreement, one accord. The reason why dancing is going to work so well because it keeps you in a euphoric state. And the more the sisters is dancing, the more they can draw other people in because dancing is a feel-good event for us that stimulates our higher spiritual aspect when it's done. So sisters, dance, film that shit, post it on social media, and tag that motherfucking shit Free Larry Hoover. For them sexy ass sisters out there, I seen sisters already doing it. Write Free Larry Hoover over your motherfucking breast while you standing there in the picture in your motherfucking dun your motherfucking birthday suit, and you get these niggas' attention because we need to focus our energy in the right place. This is the right time to do it. We got the right people to do it with. All we got to do is let the people know that it's all available at the calling of the people. A grassroots effort for the people, of the people, by the people to take their destiny in their own hands. And in those terms, that's how I'm going to leave this video. So y'all keep doing what y'all doing. You know, keep spreading the word. Free Larry Hoover is the battle cry of the Earth Tribes. The Galactic Council waiting to speak to Larry Hoover. The government agreed, but the people have to demand. That's where we at with it. The people demand doesn't have to be directly going up harassing nobody. All you have to do is use your platform to get the word out that the indigenous people's freedom war cry is Free Larry Hoover. And then if they want details, you can send them this video. And they'll explain it as best I can at this time as new information unfold, or as I am called to teach y'all anything that you might need to study. I'm going to do more videos as needed. This, for me personally, is difficult, painful, and nerve-wracking, and I really wouldn't do it if it wasn't this intensely, severely important. So I got a couple of requests I see to come in on the video, so I'm gonna check. Let's see. Okay, so I don't know if I requested them or they requested me. The children only gonna be afraid if y'all tell them, like if y'all tell, they're gonna be more awestruck when they see the mothership if y'all don't try to act like they too stupid to know that these ships is coming. And y'all flat out tell them we got people coming from the stars to bring righteousness back to earth. That's all you gotta tell them. The kids smarter than you give them credit for. School's gonna be shut down. They're not gonna shut the schools down until we produce Larry Hoover because the school is an agent as a tool of the enemy's agency. The best 1913. Say Hocus wants to interview on this platform. Contact him. Tell him to inbox me on Instagram. If you need to interview me, I'm available for any interviews that y'all think I need to take. And you said you told me, now I'm aware. If you reach out, I'm gonna give him the knockback. You let him know. And I already went over who Nip is, so I think I got all of the questions. Who is this keep requesting me? Because I can't tell who it is. Um, right now, my financial situation, Jesus is pretty grim. But I'm not allowed to solicit or ask. But if somebody asks, then I have to make available the information to do an offering. But I'm not allowed to ask for anything. So I hope I answered your question. Yeah, you brought up the two tablets of Thoth, and in there he tell you that he fought these dark brothers before and whooped their ass. Why wouldn't he be able to do it again? Yes. So talking to your children about their dreams is a form of manifestation magic. You keep going over it to them until they get it catches on in their brain and why they're here. You keep asking them, and you keep asking them, what you gonna be when you grow up? What do you want to do with your life? How do you want to live? What's your best life? These are questions you ask your children as they're going through their phases of development. And as they develop, you'll notice that it'll change until they find something that doesn't. When they find something that doesn't change, they determine that's their best life direction. That's how you talk. My cash app. Hold on, let me. So I'm gonna put it in here for those who asking, because people trying to actually do some assisting. Okay, so I just put my cash app in for those that asked. Um, but I'm not soliciting anything. I'm all I want is my people free. But if y'all send something, I'm grateful. I appreciate it. And yeah, so I had to tell y'all my condition so I know what I'm dealing with. So with that, I'm gonna say salute to the comrades, peace to the sisters. All the real G's stand up. All the simps, go find you a pimp, bitch ass nigga. You're in the way. We need you dead anyway, so stop wasting our oxygen. If you ain't gonna motherfucking fight for the women and children, you don't need to be here. I don't care if you're a homo testicle, a elemental QP, a QSV, or whatever the alphabet you choose to be this week. If you ain't sticking up for the women and children, you can't stay here. And the only way to stick up for them right now is to push the free Larry Hoover agenda of the One Nation movement. Because we are one people, indivisible and undivided if we wake up. As long as we sleep, we divided and we conquered. And to be conquered is to be defeated. And I'll never be defeated by these caliber of individuals because the way that they move, there's no love in that shit. It's all hate. And the way our people love, we can't tolerate our people being hated like that. So some of us gonna wake up others. Some of us gonna make mockery of me. But whatever we do, I don't give two shits until my people free. I'm gonna keep on talking, no matter how many motherfuckers go against what I'm saying. I'm gonna keep on talking. If there's 8.4 billion people on this motherfucker like they claim, it'd be 8.4 billion against one if it come to me speaking the truth. No more Yakub, sister. You right. Them motherfuckers, it's a wrap. Cut them out. Reduce them to dust. Push the agenda for Larry Hoover. Make it so much heat on the celebrities until they can't even come to the hood if they ain't pushing this agenda on their platform. Because this agenda is more than any one of them celebrities. Fuck them niggas. They living out there. I don't mind the motherfucker that can get his own off the wood. But at the same time now, the same motherfucker supported you as an artist need your support as a people. That's where we at with that. They got the best platform. We should say fuck a motherfucking um um social media platform or entertainment platform and an entertainer that doesn't support the people. So now the people putting pressure on entertainers to push the Free Larry agenda. Then we all saying Free Larry together. Then now you got the entertainers, you got the rank and file, and the leadership. Oh, that's a two-ball cane flip. Larry got to come to the forefront. If we could get the motherfucking entertainers to understand Free Larry is the agenda, and we can get them to push their agenda from their platform because it's the right thing to do, then we'll win. Because they got the biggest platforms out there, bigger than politicians. The Rock alone got about 100 million people on his platform. You know, make that motherfucker come see me if y'all don't know what to do. Make them reach out to me. I tell them what to do. I give them something to do according to their abilities that doesn't cause them a life-altering event. All they got to do is say, well, it's indigenous people coming together, and they have all chosen Larry Hoover as the spokesperson because one of his soldiers won the war. And that's it. Right? So from that, stuck around a little longer, gave y'all a little extra credit at the end because when I did that flip on the time clock, that was the end of the video. So everything after that is extra credit work. So I'm gonna wrap it up from here. I'm gonna say peace, my people. Make them celebrities perform and make the message obvious. We're just trying to reach critical mass. That's it. As soon as we reach critical mass, we give them permission to break the sky. As soon as they break the sky, well, we ain't even got to talk after that. They can unleash hell on this bitch to get them motherfuckers out of here. Because I done already told them, whatever it takes, wherever they hiding at, however many of them it is, no matter how big they is, little they is, or how small they is, we want them gone. You know, so that's what it is. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So gratitude to the people that asked for the cash app. Y'all didn't know my condition and circumstances. Y'all know it now. I don't ask for money because this is not about getting money to me. But if somebody want to give an offering, the cash app is in the comment. That's up to you. But I'm not doing this for the money. I'm not in it for money at all. And those motherfuckers that is, make them bitch niggas use their platform to free Larry Hoover. And we can be done with this shit as soon as we produce as a people. That's where we at with it. It's on us now. Y'all got the message. Deliver the message and share the message and do free Larry Hoover as a battle cry for the indigenous people of the land. And we were looking for Rizza Islam to step forward, a guy named Amun Ra to step forward, and we waiting on Dane Calloway to get this message so he know that we moving. The chief's on the move. He know what to do instinctually. He might be a little bit like, what the fuck is this at first, but when he see, he gonna be like, oh, this the move. This us. We boom, we back in this bitch. The inmates got to asylum. We done took this bitch over. He gonna know, right? So send him this in his email, whoever know him. Somebody hopefully with some priority status that he'll look at more likely than something that's new. So with that, y'all be blessed. Keep your head up. Fight the good fight. Stand in the position of right and tell the truth. And these devils gonna crumble. All right? Peace, fam. That's where we at.